YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Pyro, and today we need to do a heater core flush. Now, the reason we're doing this is because I don't have no heat in the car, and it's real cold outside, so that's a problem for me. Right now, I'm in the car, and we're up to operating temperatures, and my gauge right now is reading that we're about 90, right? Coming out of the vent is 90 degrees, which typically isn't that bad, but when it's 50 degrees outside, well, that still feels cold. So let me show you. I'm going to turn on this this heater right here, and then I'll show you the vent, and then we can go from there. It's actually really weird because right now it's getting hotter and the air's not even on. How weird is that? I don't know. But you turn the air on and everything is just cold. Like it's blowing cold air right now. It's really weird. So just by idling without having the air going through the system, it was at 100. And then I turned the air on and now we're back up to looks like 90. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. As soon as I get home. Right now I'm driving home, and yeah, I'm tired. It's hot. I don't know. All right, I'll see y'all in a minute. Bye. All right, so now we're out here in the car, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be getting into these heater hoses over here, and as you can see, those are right there. Okay, so this one right here is the outlet, and this one on the left hand side over there, that's the inlet. And we got to take off those two hose clamps right there, and then pull those hoses off. We got this special tool here. This is a hose clamp pair of pliers, and what that allows you to do is go around the hose clamp and wiggle and move and everything. So hopefully that'll help us out. Okay, so I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'll get back to you real quick. All right, so we got the hoses off right here, and like I said, this one's your intake and this one's your out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a hose on here, and then put another hose over there, and then we're gonna push from the out to the in, hopefully blow out most of the contaminants. Now this tool here is really cool because it has little teeth on the inside, and it goes around the hose like this, and then it allows you to wiggle and pull, so that way you can get all this stuff out real quick. Now as you can see, I left everything here. I left the battery here, my intake is still here, and I'm just reaching back there with you know, my hands. But if you don't have this style intake, you might have to take off your intake, but you don't have to remove your battery, as you can see right here. All right, so another minute, I'm gonna hook up those hoses real quick, and I'll get back to you in a second. All right, so now we have our two hoses on there, right? I got these hoses off of Amazon. They were relatively cheap. This one's gonna go over here to this bucket. It's a clean white bucket, so that way when everything comes out, you can see exactly what comes out of it. So for this side is gonna be the water intake side, so I can back flush it, so I can push it through the exit side out of the interior side. So I bought this this here. It's a hose repair kit, right? And it's a this one's supposed to be 5/8, but I bought a 1/2 inch, which is fine. It'll work just fine. And this part right here is going to go into this hose here like this. All it's there for is just so it can hold it and push the water through nicely. This one right here I bought off of Amazon, and it comes with this little spigot here and this here. And the reason why I want this is because it has this shut-off valve, so that way I can turn on the hose at the spigot, and then I can rotate it on and off from this guy right here, instead of having to walk all the way back to the house. All right, so let me hook all that up and I'll be right with you. All right, so we got the water going at the spigot. I barely turned it, like just a little bit, And now we got our setup over here, which is the valve, the ball valve, and then this guy right here. So I'm gonna turn it on lightly. There it goes. And you don't need very much water pressure, and that's the thing is you don't want to overload too much pressure. So let me try to do this real quick, and then we'll see what comes out of the spigot over there. Hopefully it'll be nasty. Ooh, I gotta hold that because I'm leaking everywhere. Oh man, this is so gross. So the aim of the game is to do this until it's crystal clear. And you can already see that stuff looks black. How crazy is that? But I'm gonna have to put you on a brief pause because I'm getting my feet all wet. Hold on a second. Alright, so I decided to use just a zip tie, and it holds it over there, which is fine because as you can see it's actually doing its job. So look at all this blackness. So we're pushing through the exhaust here, pushing out through the intake with slow water movement. I think it's probably going to fill up this whole bucket before it turns clear. You can see that it's still brown over here, still brown down there. And that's just in the heater core. That's not in the entire system. That's just in that little baby radiator. That's gross. Oh, get an air bubble. It's starting to look prunish now, so that's good, I guess. But I'm gonna have to transfer all this into a bucket so that way I can properly dispose of it. Gross. All right, let me turn it off and then dispose of this bucket, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of dirty sludge in there, like particulates, and this is empty now, and we're gonna hit it again and see hopefully what other crap comes out. Gross. Oh, look at all the stuff floating in there. You see that? That's all the stuff that's stuck in the heater core. So the reason why we backflush is because normally what happens is rivers and lakes and stuff, when they flow a certain direction, they tend to stay in that direction. So you go the opposite direction, you start mixing stuff up. You start moving stuff around that normally doesn't get moved around. But this is really good to see that it's clearing up now. Maybe I'll have heat when this is all said and done. We'll see. All right, I'll do this a couple more times and then I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, so what we did was I reversed this because there was a lot of stuff coming out. So I put the water hose onto the intake side and the exit side, so that way we can try to get more stuff out. And at this point, there's no more antifreeze in there. So now what I'm doing is I'm just pushing water through and just letting it go on the floor because, you know, I'm lazy. And as you can see, like, there's still stuff coming out even when it's coming through the correct way that everything's supposed to flow. Contaminants are still coming out. So what I'll do here is I'll reverse it again, and I'll just do that back and forth, cycling back and forth, so that way it can jar whatever's in there loose and it'll all come out. It's just really crazy how much stuff came out. All right, take this guy here, take this guy off, put this guy on. And for this one, because this is a 1/2 inch adapter onto a 3/4 inch or a 5/8 pipe, I ended up using wire so that way I can secure it tightly. Yep, there it is.
I put all these in my pocket.
Well, at least it's coming out semi-clean though. That's good. I think we should be good.
Shoot, 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 shoot.
Maybe one more backwards and then see what happens.
I love you, Mama.
We'll call that good. That's what I think.
Dad, there's water holes in here, but I'm not going to jump in.
All right, so I'm gonna put it all back together and then take off these hoses, put on the other hoses, and then fill everything up and then turn it on for you, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got the hoses back on where they're supposed to be with the hose clamps on there. And our next step now is going to be fill up this radiator full of coolant. I use the green one for this one because it's all makes and all models. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys are having a problem with your heater core system or whatever, maybe try this out. I'm also going to do a video on the heater temperature because I have the gauge in there. So I can check the temperature of the water, and after I fill it properly full of antifreeze and water coolant mixture there, we'll go inside and then we'll turn it on, get it to proper temperature, and then see how it works out. All right, give me a minute. All right, so here we are the next morning. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on yesterday, so I couldn't finish this thing up. So first things first, we need to turn the car on, right? Which it's on right now. It's already on. And we're gonna fill it up with some coolant because we didn't do that yesterday. So going outside the car here. There's Isaiah, my little helper today. Say hi. Hi. All right. So we're gonna be using this spill-free funnel here. This one's an old one, it's a Matco one, but you can buy one on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Highly recommended, but it's not necessary. Okay, so we're gonna take the cap off. Watch out, buddy. Take the cap off here. And as you can see, there's no fluid in there because, you know, it all came out. So part of this spill-free funnel comes with this adapter. And then this new cap here, that's going to go on here. And what that's going to do is allow you to put fluid in here without losing fluid. So this goes on here like this. Cinch it down nice and tight. Pull the plunger. This is my 50-50. I already mixed it. And we're gonna just put this in there.
I'll hold it.
I don't want you to hold it because I already know how you record stuff. I already know.
Here it goes. Here it comes. That's a lot, Dad.
It is a lot. So we're just going to fill this up with about half. And then as the car starts to drink it, we'll just keep filling it up to keep that level up. And then whatever's left over, we have this little plunger here. And the plunger goes inside, it caps it off, and then we can just put the rest back into the bucket. All right. So we're gonna let this run through its cycle really quick while it gets all nice and warm. When that thermostat opens up, it'll drink it right up, and we'll just keep adding it, letting it flow in there and everything. And I'm not gonna take you through that whole process, but as you can see, look at, you see the bubbles? You can also grab the radiator hose here, the upper one, squeeze it to kind of cycle through some fluid. The bottom one here, cycle through some fluid. So that way it'll push more fluid through the system. And the aim of the game, oh, also, I forgot to tell you, also, while doing this, you want to turn your heater on all the way. So this is a good chance to see if our heater actually did work. So right now, our thermostat is roughly around 80, is what it says here. So we'll just turn on this heater full blast, heat, full blast, and then hopefully if everything went right, this should jump up relatively quick. Yeah, as you can see, it already jumped up to 90. But we'll let the fluid cycle through some more. The engine's not even at operating temperature yet, so as soon as it gets to operating temperature, then we'll see if it actually worked or not. But it did pull out a lot of crud yesterday, so. But yeah, I'll give me a few minutes and I'll come back to you. We'll see how things are working. All right, so here we are back again. It didn't take too much, just a little bit. I remember we filled it up more than half, and we're doing really good right now. And let's go inside the car and check on the temperature here and see where we're sitting. So as you remember, before we were at a cold and we were somewhere around 80 or 90 degrees, and now this thing's blowing really hot now. And we're sitting at about 120, 130, which is really good. So what I'm doing is I'm turning off the heat, letting it close up over there, and then turning it on and seeing if the needle moves. You know, if the needle moves, that tells me that, you know, heat's going through the system. Yeah, see, look, it's jumping up to 130 now. Just sitting here, so cycling the heat on and cycling it off allows everything to move the way it's supposed to and everything else, so that's really good. So there you go. So all I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn the car off, and as you can see, my funnel is still over there. I'm going to turn the car off, go eat some breakfast, and then I'll come back and disconnect everything over there. I don't want to touch it when it's hot because it's hot, and I'm gonna call it done and good. So keep in mind that if you have no heat and you know everything's working fine the way it's supposed to, it could be your heater core is clogged full of junk. And the reason that is because your heater core is like a filter. All those little particulates will get stuck inside that filter. And the best thing to do is back flush it all out, get all that crud out of there. And I'm sure I might have to do this again in like another month or so, because, you know, whatever's traveling through the system is going to get caught up in the heater core again. But at least we got the main chunk out right now, and I don't have to worry about it no more. I'll have heat in the morning, and that sounds really nice to me, because it is cold right now. Like, it's normally not this cold, but it's been like hailing and snowing here in Tucson, and that's just ridiculous. So I don't know, but anyways, that's where we're at, and I'm gonna call it good. I'm in this video. If I can do it, you can do it. So for all you out there, just keep up the good work. Learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are all right. Everything can be fixed. It's all good. You guys have a good evening. Peace out.